Hello. Today we're going to look at grammar, the present continuous form. And this is from Q Skills 2, Listening and Speaking, Unit 1. So, are you ready to go? Let's see. Let's have a look. What is the present continuous? Well, the present continuous is part of grammar. And grammar helps you to talk and write about when activities happen. The present continuous part of grammar helps you to talk and write about activities now, so you're in class now, around now, so let's say this week or this month, and in the future, so perhaps maybe next year. When do we use the present continuous? The present continuous helps you to talk and write about activities that are now, so now in class, so you're studying, around now, and in the future when you have a plan. Let's see what this means. For now, the present continuous helps you to talk about activities that you are doing now, so that's a positive structure. A negative, activities you're not doing now, and asking questions about activities happening now. Let's have a look at some examples, and then we'll practice. I'm studying English. That is an activity you are doing now. We aren't listening to our teacher, we are chatting with our friends. Here we have two activities. An activity you're not doing now, we aren't listening, and an activity we are doing now, chatting with our friends. Now let's look at a question. What are you doing? It's asking questions about now. So you ready? Let's practice. Over to you. I want you to use the present continuous to complete these sentences about happening now. So here you have the verb, and I want you to put that in the present continuous form. Here you have the verb, I want you to put that in the present continuous, and here we have the person and the verb, and ask a question using the present continuous. Now please pause, and we will continue. Okay guys, let's take a look at the answers. We are having, or we're having, so you can have the comma here or the apostrophe, a great English lesson now. I'm not watching or I'm not watching. And where is he going in the question form. Did you get the same answer? Okay, let's look at the next part. The present continuous we use to talk around now. And what do I mean by that? It's activities that you're doing around now, that you're not doing, and again asking questions about activities happening now. So we can do this by adding words like this week, this month, this year, today at the end of the sentence. Let's take a look. I'm working in Jeddah this month. It doesn't mean now at this moment, but it just means that this month, and it's temporary. We aren't doing very much work today. Okay, that is all day. And a question, are you studying for your exams this week? So what we're doing is we're saying using the present continuous and adding a time reference. This month, today, this week. Okay, now over to you. I'd like you to use the present continuous to complete these sentences about activities happening now. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can complete the sentence. Okay, let's check the answers. These are the answers. He is working or he's working in the mornings this week. My sister is not going or my sister isn't going to school this month. And where are you living these days? Did you get the same answers? Okay, let's continue. We can also use the present continuous for future plans. So these help you talk about planned activities. And as you guessed, things you are doing in the future, activities you are not going to do in the future, and questions about future planned activities. Let's look at 3 examples. But we can do this by adding words like later, tomorrow, today, tonight, this afternoon, next week, in September, next year, soon. So let's have a look. I'm traveling to New York next week. So this is a future plan. We aren't meeting our friends tonight. It means we have no plans to do that. And are you taking a holiday soon? We're asking if you have a plan for that. Now let's practice. Are you ready? Okay. Again, Use the present continuous to complete these sentences about future plans. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can give the answers. Okay, let's take a look. I'm having lunch, or I'm having lunch with my sister tomorrow. My father's attending, or my father is attending. And what are you doing tonight is the question form. Did you get the same answers? Great. Next, we're going to look at some common mistakes that a lot of people make. Now, when we are talking about everyday actions or habits, we use the present simple. So, for example, I go to work, I study, I have 2 cars, etc. But when we talk about actions now, around now, or planned in the future, we use the present continuous. Let's take a look at 2 examples. So please be careful. For example, I go to work. The verb in this form, it simply means every day, often, usually, or sometimes. So it's an everyday action or habit, and that is the present simple. The present continuous, I'm going to work, means now, around now, or a future plan. You will need to remember this when we go to the LMS later. Now over to you. I would like you to go to your Q Skills Listening and Speaking to Unit 1, page 15 and 16, please. Okay, let's go and look at the book. On page 15, you will find an exercise. It says speaking. And here we have the present continuous. Let's just make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. And all we're practicing here is the present continuous with actions that take place at the moment of speaking. So now. And here is a summary of what we looked at just before. I'm eating dinner. We are not studying for a test right now. And it's also looking at actions that take place around now. So adding words like today, this week, this year. Okay, so for example, she is finishing her homework today, or they are not watching TV this week. Okay, now we're going to do a little exercise. At the bottom of the page, you will see this exercise. It says, write sentences, use the present continuous. Then read your sentences to a partner. Well, you can read it to yourself or read it to your brother or sister or somebody. So let's have a look at this example. My cousin, the verb is study architecture at university. And the answer, correct answer is, my cousin is studying architecture at university. What I'd like you to do is to do number 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is look at the answers. I'd like you to pause the video for a second and let's take a look at the answers. Number 2, Sammy is attending the conference on sustainability today. We are discussing modern architecture this week. And what do you think the answer to this one was? Right now, Professor Martin is talking to some students. Did you get the same answers? Great. Okay, let's go on to the final exercise in this book. I'd like you to look at page 16. And it's exercise B, which is here. I'd like you to listen to the conversations. You can find the recordings on the LMS. Do they describe actions that are happening now or actions that are happening around now? Write HN if it's happening now and AN if it's happening around now. Please pause the video and do this exercise. Okay, let's check your answers. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is to go to the LMS. And when you go to the LMS, I would like you to go to the Q Skills 2 Listening and Speaking and do the 2 grammar exercises. So let's take a look at these grammar exercises in the LMS. Okay, let's go to the LMS. Let's go to Activities, which is here. We're looking at Unit 1. What I'd like you to do is click on this exercise here, which is Grammar, the Present Continuous. And what you will see is some questions. So for example, are you busy now? What you have to do is match the question with the correct answer. Now the answers are down here. So for example, are you busy now? What do you think the answer is? No, not now, it's raining. Well, probably not. It's probably this one. Actually, yes, I'm studying for my history exam. So what we will do is drag that up to the top. Okay? All right. Now over to you. Please pause the video and continue with this exercise afterwards. Now finally, what I'd like you to do is choose the grammar expansion, the present continuous and the simple present. Here what you need to do is read about the difference between the present continuous and the simple present, and then choose the correct form. So let's take a read. The present continuous describes actions that are happening now. So I'm buying a new dress for my cousin's wedding. The present continuous describes actions that are happening around now, but not necessarily now. And the present simple describes actions that are habits. So let's take a look. Jack to be a fashion designer. Is it wants or is wanting? Please do the exercise. And when you're ready, you can stop the video again. Thank you. Okay guys, that is the end of the lesson. Thank you for watching and listening.